What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Guys, we are back here in Australia. Happy New Year. I'm sure it should be January 2nd, 3rd, I believe, depending on the hours. I think it should be the 2nd there. But hey, we're here in 2024, New Year. I haven't heard nobody say New Year, New Me. That's surprising for me, because that used to be a thing a lot. But we're here with James Smith. Why you should quit and move to Australia? Now that's a very interesting statement, considering how hard it is for people to just up and move. But my guy here, I thought this was interesting, because it's a new year. Some people are tired of their situation. Some people want something new. This might be the video, so I'm gonna see. I ain't gonna lie. I always think about man, I really want to go to Australia, but then I look at those ticket prices and man, I really need to save. I really need to save up a lot because it's pricey, but I'm sure it'll be worth the trip. But James Smith, what you got for us?
This is going to be a very different educational video than usual. This isn't even actually my desk. That's my desk there. And I'll show you the gym. Come on. In this video, I'm going to explain to you why you should quit whatever you're doing and move to Australia. Yeah, she's beautiful, isn't she?
That's First thing, very nice.
About living in Australia is how accepting they are of you being barefoot everywhere. Grab my phone.
Hey, I'm barefooted now.
And for the record, I'm only drinking these because I had to buy 100 of them for a thumbnail that I did for another video. Don't even taste that good. But for any of you that are confused,
wait a minute, what is that? To buy
100 of them for a thumbnail that I did for
energy. Oh, style.
Another video. Don't even taste that good. But for any of you that are confused, I'm English. I lived in the UK till I was 27. Then had a psychedelic trip, ended up deciding to move to Australia. It was the best decision I've ever made. And throughout this video, you're going to understand exactly why that is. Point number one, it's not that expensive in Australia. Petrol, about 30% cheaper. Rent, even in a rental crisis, nowhere near as bad as London, because to live in the UK, you pretty much got to live in London. Even if you live in Manchester, which is nicer than London, people are like, why don't you live in London? Whereas Australia, even living in Bondi Beach, one of the most famous beaches in the world, is cheaper than London. And I just can't quite fathom that when you think about quality of life. So Australia is a lot more affordable. But don't just take my word for it. Let's show you some of it.
I know I know he's comparing it to the UK, and there are some prices, some nice houses that I've seen, especially when you put in Australian dollars versus American dollars.
I'm not going to lie to you, up until the age of 27, I used to get smashed in the United Kingdom every weekend and very often snort a lot of coke. Sorry, Mum and Dad, if you're watching this. The thing is, in the UK, to me, and I'm not telling you how to live your lives, the UK was quite mundane for me, and I had to escape it at the weekend. It was almost like you have to go through this life of grey skies and people being miserable, then at the weekend, suddenly, boom, coke, booze, whatever. Even something like this car, real. 6-year-old car, I don't really need flashy things quite as much here than I do in the UK. In the UK, people are like brand new car, finance, need to get a Range Rover, even though I live in Surrey, because they need some kind of experience throughout their day that makes them...
Dang, that's the same here. You were really judging and see people doing good by the way their living standards are. Basically, if somebody got a nice house, you can tell, they got a great job and they probably doing good in life type of thing. Somebody got a nice car, probably the same. It really just depends. Somebody with a nice car, anybody can get a nice car, but we don't know how much everybody's paying for their nice car. Because I know I pay a pretty penny for my nice car, and then you see somebody way 10 years younger than you with the same car, and it's like, your parents are paying for that type of thing, So it really just depends. But here in the States, yes, flashy things, people really consider that person's doing good.
Feel good. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I'm just saying it's very different when you come to somewhere like Australia. Rather than sitting in an overpriced 4x4 car that's never going to go off-road, you could maybe go to the beach and have a swim before work. In Australia, one of the craziest things that happens here is, if it's your mate's birthday, you all meet up at 6 a.m, you get up at 5:30 to go for a swim in the beach together before work. In the UK, no one is meeting up before work. Coffee shops don't even open until 7 a.m. Here you get a coffee at 5:30 if you want. And again, this is my personal experience with Australia. It's not right for everyone, but I know there are going to be a lot of you watching this that are in a similar kind of place to me in the UK where you're like, I'm not happy here. You feel like you're a plant that's been left in the shade that you can't fully grow. And that's actually how I felt. It was just the psychedelic experience that got that out of me. So what we're going to do now is go to the beach. This beach isn't even known for being a great beach. It's just a beach.
That's
and another thing,
I wonder what part of Australia
you might agree with this as well. Australians, this is just their normal daily life. But as a Brit who came here in October 2016, every day feels like a holiday. And there's a part of you that thinks, how long can you really sustain living in a place that's a holiday? And I've been doing it 7 years. Still feels like a holiday.
Nice.
Then there's the next thing. Family. It's a long way from home. It's a day away. Yeah, it's 21 hours of flying. Everywhere's a day away. Once my flight got delayed twice on the way back from Berlin. Took me a day to get back to London. It's a day away. Do you miss your family and friends? Yes. But when the plane's going down, you got to put the mask on yourself first, then other people. If you
this man speaking facts. This is probably the motivation. I was just looking for a good Australia video, but I feel like he's speaking to my soul right now. Because it's true, you know, because sometimes we try to live our life based on other people instead of what we really want for ourselves. And, you know, once you start thinking for yourself and thinking about yourself, putting yourself first, I would say that's when things start changing. You start really seeing life in a different way. You know, that's why I know I have a nice house, nice car and stuff, but these are the things I'm like, I'm paying these things off. That's my goal. I don't want to like keep updating my car or keep updating, you know, with the years and stuff. It's like, I'm trying to live life very simple so I can travel. I'm Dar the Traveler, and I travel through the computer.
If you stay in a place you don't want to be in to appease people around you, you're putting the mask on them whilst you slowly suffocate to death. I know, I've been there. Now, there are also a lot of reasons that I hate Australia. Tax, just as bad as the UK. But if you're going to pay 45% tax bracket here, you know you're not going to get stabbed for your watch on a night out. And there's not going to be any potholes in the road. I know you're thinking, spiders. You see one a year, the big ones that you see online, the huntsman. These
I just seen somebody, dude, put a Glock on one. He shot one. I said, dang.
are actually the ones that aren't
that thing was
that
bigger
dangerous.
than his gun.
These are the ones that kill the bad spiders, like the redbacks.
Left at the light.
Left at the light. And the funnel webs. You ever seen a funnel web? Oh, road closed. Where are we going to go?
Uh-oh.
Detour. And here's a crazy thing for any of you that do move out to Australia, right? They don't use traffic lights when they're doing roadworks. They have people there with lollipops. And in Sydney, they kind of always hire hot chicks to hold on to the lollipops. You notice this? You're going through roadworks and you're like, why is there a 9 out of 10 there flipping a lollipop? And they get good money for it as well. One of your biggest problems with coming to Australia is visas. So any of you that want to come out, sometimes you just got to put the tip in to see how it feels. Do that, 3-month visa, you get a holiday visa, tourist visa, you must apply before you leave. If you go to the airport and try and get on the flight without a visa, you're not getting on that flight. Use the 3 months to travel. You got the East Coast, you got Perth on the West Coast. I recommend maybe going off to Bali for a few days or a week, then coming to Cairns and working your way down south to Sydney and Melbourne. 3 months, use that.
Okay. I seen somebody told me that too. They said it would be cheaper going to like I think like Southeast Asia. I think that's where Bali and all that. I think Southeast.
You got the East Coast, you got Perth on the West Coast. I recommend maybe going off to Bali for a few days or a week, then coming to Cairns and working your way down south to Sydney and Melbourne. 3 months, use that. If you don't like it, you can go back to your job. You can go back to living with your parents. You can go back to the partner you broke up with to go to Australia.
And that's one thing you can do. If something don't work out, you can just go back to doing what you was already doing.
Will take you back. They'll just see it as a midlife crisis. But if you come here and you love it, then you got to leave again and apply for 1 year working holiday visa. So this is just the local beach. As you can see, it's not even that busy. But if you're British like me, there's something you've got to prepare yourself for. In Australia, all cars have got to park facing the same way. Oh. So you can get a ticket for parking your car facing the opposite direction to everyone else, which is mental. It's bloody mental.
Wow, that's new news to me. I couldn't imagine getting a ticket because my car is facing another way. We do that all the time here. Most people back into parking spots because it's just better knowing that you can get out easier.
Do you know what apparently chicks love? You put your arm behind the seat. You like that? Is that BBL?
Oh, well, he's on the side of the road, so that makes sense. I thought he was meant in the parking spot. Park the terminal. Yeah, on the side of the road, I think you can get a ticket here. If sometimes the police, it just depends if they on that time. But yeah, like if they're facing that way, I can't face the other way on the same side of the road. So that makes sense. Yeah.
Chicks love. You put your arm behind the seat. You like that? Is that BBL? Can't say that, can you? If you've watched as many Andrew Tate videos as I have, you'll have been called a brokey quite a few times. And one of the things I really like about Australia that not many people are talking about is Australia is a really good place to be poor. Now, obviously not so poor that you're, putting your hand out for money at the side of the road. When I came here as a backpacker, even if I was spending the least amount of money possible, I could spend my days down here chilling out, reading a book, figuring out myself. You can rent a surfboard for near to nothing and you can have a pretty good life. I've told this story a million times before, but when I got out here, I remember sitting in a coffee shop and there was like all these young 25-year-olds that were fit and they were just like serving coffee. And I was like, why are good looking young people working in a coffee shop for minimum wage? So then I realized they start work at 6 a.m, they clock off at 2 p.m, they come down the beach with their friends, they have a cider, they watch the sun go down, and these 24-year-olds on minimum wage are living a better life than most people in the United Kingdom. So many people in the UK earn...
That's even here. Y'all, it's crazy story. People go to college, trying to get a better living, and you pretty much, first, college is so expensive here in the States, and you pretty much eating ramen noodles and hot dogs just to survive, just to get a degree to make some good money.
So much more money so that they can escape the life they...
More 24-year-olds are stressed over school than anything here in the States.
They don't like at the weekend. But here at 10 a.m, you feel...
And that's for the ones going to graduate school. Usually you should be done with your bachelor's by like 22, 23, but maybe 21. It really depends. It depends. It depends on you. Because college, I've seen people, they're like, hey, I need a break from this because school is stressful.
Feeling a bit flat, you can go down and get most people in the United Kingdom. So many people in the UK earn so much more money so that they can escape the life they don't like at the weekend. But here at 10 a.m, you're feeling a bit flat, you can go down the beach, jump in the ocean, make you feel so much better and it costs nothing. Everyone talks about quality of life and lifestyle. Do you know what the best thing about Australia is? You don't even need to be that ambitious. If you can cover your rent and feed yourself, you can build a good life, not just for you, but your family as well. In the UK, to take your kid to the beach means you got to sit on a Ryanair or EasyJet flight for a few hours, wait for your flight to get delayed. It's just insane that in Australia, this is just considered normal. Another good thing about Australia is it's far enough away from literally everything else in the world that if you want to reinvent yourself, you can. You can come here and be a more confident person. You can be more outgoing. When I got here, a friend that I knew that was here, he made me delete all of my dating apps when I got here, and every girl I spoke to, I had to give them my number in person. James in the UK never did that. James in Australia doesn't do that anymore because my girlfriend would kill me, but I never had any social media followers when I came here. I didn't have any successful business. I'd never even accomplished anything that important until I came to Australia and reinvented myself. Now for some of you, you might not want to do that, but for some of you, you might. But here's the craziest thing, right? I came back to personal training after my psychedelic trip that happened to be in Croatia. I kind of said to a few of my clients in the gym, some of them I've been training for years, right? And Jackie came in. Jackie, you might be watching this. I said to her, I'm kind of thinking about maybe going to Australia. And what I used to do with my clients was, I used to get them to warm up for like 5, maybe 10 minutes on an elliptical, just so I could sense how they were feeling, whether or not they were run down, just to check in with them. And she stopped in her tracks there. She goes, you need to go to Australia. And I was like, this is my client. She sees me 2-3 times a week. Why is she saying? She said, me and my husband had the opportunity to go there when we were younger. We didn't go, we never went. It's the biggest regret of our life. She goes, because before we knew it, we had kids, then we had grandkids. And now we will never see the one place we wanted to go to. And I was like, wow, that's pretty powerful.
That is powerful because that is how life is. Like, people say, live life with no regrets, but everybody have something that they regret they didn't get to do because they didn't take that opportunity, I tell my kids, like, I want y'all to be able to experience things. Like, you can date. Don't try to get in a relationship early. Don't try to have kids, or like enjoy your adulthood first before you try to have kids and stuff. When you have kids, it's about the kids, so it's like, you start a family. I understand, like, start a family at 30. I know life is short, but shoot, like, enjoy it.
Never see the one place we wanted to go to. And I was like, wow, that's pretty powerful. And I took it on board, went home. The next session she came in, she was one of my bread and butter favorite clients to see on a daily basis. She literally just said, have you got your ticket yet? She was obviously devastated because
she some personal really
trainer. But that's the real danger you're kind of rolling with here. If you put this off any longer, it just takes one load to grow up a bird and you got a family. Once you have kids, you ain't never coming. Don't be like Jackie. So you've probably seen that infamous swimming pool in Bondi called Icebergs.
Oh,
that pool for a visit, including sauna, costs less than entry to the Tooting-Bec Lido. I have to send you what the Tooting-Bec Lido is. It's like a little pool in London. It's 90 meters long. Do you know what I hate? about the toot and back Lido. You made a pool that's 90 meters long. Just make it 100. Just make it 100 meters.
Might as well.
What's the point? Who designed that? Yeah, we'll come here. How long's that? 90 meters, perfect. Dickhead.
Hey, James.
How you doing? You all right?
Keep knowing around
occupational hazard.
Is this man still barefoot?
Oh, it's beautiful. Kelpie cross? Cool, I've got a Kelpie at home. So another thing, you don't realise how gaslit we've been in the UK when it comes to coffee, right? Coffee in Australia is amazing. It's like 10 times better, and I'm not just saying that. It's like unreal. You go back to Costa, Nero, Starbucks, and you're like, why are you selling me dark cat piss? So you come to Australia, you do your working holiday visa, and suddenly you're a coffee connoisseur. You're a snob. And I'm praying on Lord, sweet baby Jesus, that they've got almond croissants.
Almond croissant.
Very good, thanks. Can I please get a long black with milk? Just some cold milk in the top of us,
no
right?
worries, all good. Is that a large or a small for the long one?
Oh, I'll take a large, please.
Large, yeah, no worries. And then just some milk on the side?
Yes, please.
No worries. Having it here or take away?
Take away, please.
Take away, yeah. Just $5, thank you.
$5.
Really? Amazing. Which one was it? I'm doing that's crazy. That's a bit, maybe it knew we were close. I'm doing a video now on like why I like Australia. So, you know, saying to the British people,
nice.
Not too many of them, we've done with too many of them. Oh, thank God. What's your favorite thing about living here? Freedom.
Freedom,
For me,
wow.
when I came here as a backpacker, you can have such a good life with not a lot of money. Everyone says quality of life, but whereas here, like, you can have so many little bouts of happiness throughout the day. You get home,
and I think that's one of the best qualities of life is just happiness. You want to be happy. You ain't gotta have the most luxury thing. People that, if you think about it, the people that have all the luxury in the world and stuff, they still don't really enjoy life. Yeah, you can buy anything and everything you want, but you can tell some people still don't have that happiness that they really desire.
Your glass is full by 7 p.m. Going on a holiday for me is a chore now. How long have you been here? 28 years. Whoa. That's why you sound like an Aussie. Or Birmingham. Won't hold it against you.
28 years.
So I'm going to convert a few people that are probably in a similar position to me not long ago. What was your name? Emma, lovely to meet you. Enjoy your breakfast.
Dang, 28
Telling people
years.
about almond croissants is like giving your best mate a hit on crystal meth. Once they start, they're probably not going to stop. Why don't we go on an endeavour to try and find an almond croissant? Another thing that I never thought I'd really like about Australia is there are no chains of coffee shops. So like I said, in the UK, you got Nero's dog shit, Costa dog shit, Starbucks dog shit, and it's expensive. It's like £3.70 for a flipping coffee. This is $5, which is £2.50. So in Australia, which everyone thought was like a really expensive place, isn't. So because of that, because of the fact all these kind of chains are independent, they give a shit a lot more about the things they're producing. If you go into like a Bill's in Bracknell and your poached eggs are hard, no one really cares because they're just working for the one big conglomerate business. Oh, sorry sir. But here, because everything's independent, they have to maintain a certain level and quality to the food and coffee they produce or people won't go back. So every cup of coffee, dare I say it, is made with love. Oh, the breakfast is, I'm real. The bread. Oh,
made with love.
Amazing. It's worth noting, Sydney, Queensland has the best people, so the north. Melbourne has probably got the best metropolitan vibe, more of a city, great food, probably the best coffee. Sydney's just got like a good pinch of everything. It's not got the best beaches, it's got good beaches. It's not got the best city, it's got a good city. People there are kind of assholes. When you go outside of Sydney, people are much more likely and inclined to say hello to you. Your neighbours will remind you to take the bins out. They'll have a chat with you. And Sydney can be a hard place to make friends. So if you come, make sure you have some kind of hobby or passion project, especially something like jiu-jitsu. I didn't do jiu-jitsu until I came to Australia. That is a very easy way to start making some friends. Because at least you know.
See, I play basketball. I like basketball, coach basketball, and I like the NBL. I've been checking out. I didn't know there was a guy actually went to he was a senior when I was a freshman in college, and the dude actually been in the NBL. I think he just left the league, but he been in Australia all these years playing professional. I thought that was pretty cool because I'm like, man, from a small town here or a town here in Texas and it's in the NBL.
No,
that's pretty nice.
Because not many arseholes do jiu-jitsu. Being alone does not mean you're lonely. Aloneness and loneliness are two different things. And when I did start traveling here, I did have a few days on my own. I remember having a wobbly one day and chatting to my friend Lucy Lord, and I was like, I feel kind of lonely. She was like, you're not lonely, you're alone. There's a difference. She said, get a good book, open it, and start being appreciative of the fact that no one's fucking pestering you. And my God, did she have a point. they will have almond croissants. But then, so may these. We'll try here first. This bakery looks lit. No almond croissant, only a chocolate one.
Chocolate croissant.
I'm pretty devastated, if I'm honest. A special mention to my mate George. He didn't die, but he did get a girl pregnant. When I was considering coming out to Australia.
I thought he passed away.
I messaged him on Facebook and I was like, oh mate, what's Australia like? And he knew exactly what I meant with that. And he sent me a message that changed my life forever. He said, I'm not going to talk to you until you book your flight. And I was like, oh. Because what I was doing was I was looking for reasons to not take action. I was looking for reasons, excuses. Yeah. That's why I was asking my clients, oh, I'm thinking of going to Australia. I was hoping that someone in my life would talk me out of it. And then it was only really those last few conversations I had that pushed me over the edge to put myself out of the comfort zone to come. And quite literally, it was the single best decision of my life.
Yeah.
And I don't take that very lightly.
That happens all the time. You call certain people hoping they would agree with you and be like, yeah, that's not a good idea. You know, but then you have those. It seemed to me that this definitely was destined for him. He had to get there. He had to get there because it seemed like everybody in his path was like, wait a minute, did you book your flight? Did you book your flight? Man, that's different right there.
I don't even know if anyone's going to give a shit or want to watch this video, but I can't express how great coming here was for every part of my health, my mental health, my business, my relationships, everything. Now, I could be completely wrong, but surely coming out and realizing it's not right for you is way better than never even trying. And Tim Ferriss has a famous saying where he goes, someday, when you say, oh, I'll do it someday, I'll get around to it someday, someday is a disease that will take your dreams to the grave. Because there is no good time to do this. There is never going to be a good time to come and pack up everything and go to the other side of the world. So just fucking do it. Do you know what? I was going to avoid saying fuck because I'll get demonetized now and I won't get any fucking money. But no, fucking do it. Stop being a pussy all your life. You're not getting any younger. So just grow a pair and fucking do it. G'day, mate. Then we can cut to the scene, finger in the arse, boom. I suppose living and moving to Australia is a bit like having a finger in the arse. You might be curious your whole life, wondering, I wonder what it's like. But until you give it a go, you're never really going to know.
What? That's a crazy analogy. But I understand what he's talking about, though. No, this was good, man. Y'all definitely got to subscribe. And this is a good motivational video. Like, if you're that person and, you know, like me on my way to wanting to travel for the first time to a different country and stuff, I get excited because I watch all these videos and stuff, but then I be thinking like, man, I need somebody to tell me like, nah, it's not a good idea, blah, blah. But then I see, like you said, you just got to do it. When is the right time? It's never the right time for anything. Chris Brown said it's never the right time to say goodbye, but I got to go. But we got to go our separate ways, you know? That's what Chris Brown said, but it ain't no right time. It's just my time. You know, you just got to make that, plan it out, set the right times and stuff, you know, that's understandable, but it's never the right time. It's never a right time. You just got to make it that right time. You know, you just got to make that decision. Strap them Nikes on and just do it. But this was good. Very motivational as well. Definitely going to have to follow him on TikTok and stuff. See everything he's been posting. But yeah, definitely. I know for me, I am working hard, very hard towards saving up to visit Australia as well. Going to Europe for the first time, that's my plan. But most definitely got to go to Australia. That's a huge goal. It very expensive, but I'm going to get there. One way or another, I'm going to find you. I'm going to get you. But that's all I have. Y'all hit that subscribe button, and y'all be blessed to be the best to be you. I'm out.